Alrighty, so we have a few educational flyers here at Shootopia, and we've done videos on each one of them as well. One on bunion support, one on heel lock technique, or some people will call it the runner's knot. And this one, we're going to talk a little bit about your gait and learning about your gait, whether you pronate, you supinate, or if you're neutral. Those are the three most common ones. So we're going to talk a little bit about the differences, and this flyer kind of goes through it all too. But what I'll do is I'll just kind of explain it on a shoe. So I've just pulled a New Balance shoe. You can get your shoe out of your closet, basically the one that you've worn the most, and you want to flip it over. And this is how we're going to tell. Most people will say, well, I've always burned off my heel, but almost everybody heel strikes and then rolls through. So depending on their gait, you almost always heel strike first. So we're not looking at this area because you're going to burn that off first. That's why in most athletic shoes anyway, there's different rubber here that's longer lasting than say in the midsole here. But basically we want to look at the forefoot of the shoe. So if you're seeing a relatively neutral pattern, that means that the wear is sort of right across this and even wear, then you are neutral. And you can usually tell because a lot of these shoes have different sort of grids. You can see how there's an interior circle and stuff like that. Like if you're seeing that worn off, or if you're seeing these two worn off, but these ones aren't, then we're going to notice some different things. And we'll talk a little bit about that. So if you're seeing wear patterns more in this area of your shoe, which when you flip it over is actually the inside of your shoe, that means you pronate. So when you come down on your gait, you're coming down and then you're rolling in like this. So if you pronate, then we'll talk a little bit about that. Again, if you see an even pattern across it, it means you're neutral. So when you're coming down, you're kind of rolling off like this, which is that neutral way. So pronation is in, neutral, and then supination is out. So in that case, if we're supinating, we're seeing the wear pattern on the outside of the shoe. So these three things will help us as you look at the shoe and what type of shoe to put you in. So I've grabbed a couple of old shoes. I didn't have a whole lot here, but to sort of reference. But you can see how they've this person has burned off this outer heel, which is very normal. And when we look at the wear pattern, definitely a bit more wear here on this interior edge than on the exterior edge. You can see it through here, and it's a little more crisp out here. So that means this person is heel striking and coming in and then rolling in a little bit, or pronating, okay? On this particular shoe, it's a little bit different in that this person supinates. So you can see that all of the grips are fairly good on the inside, and they have started to wear on the outside, especially through this area through here. So it's a little bit harder to tell on this shoe, but you can see it through here where this is the height of the original one, and you can see how these ones have burned off, but there's still more height over here. So this person is heel striking and coming in and rolling on the outside of their shoe, probably on the outside inside, as opposed to way out. But just because of the wear pattern through here. Well, what does that mean? It could mean a lot of things with regards to your shoes and your hips and your knees and your comfort and all that sort of stuff. We do have shoes that help pronation. We do carry a lot of orthotic type products where we can slide in, giving you arch support and helping you set in there. And of course, you can always go to see a certified podorthist in order to get fit with a proper orthotic, which is something we don't do here at the store. We do carry lots of aftermarket products that will help you through this. But if it's a severe issue and you're having a lot of problems, we always would recommend you to go to see a podorthist and get a pair of orthotics made. So learning a little bit today about supination, about pronation, or about neutral. And remember, when you flip over, you can see even the heel here on this outside, very normal. Doesn't matter whether you supinate or pronate. Pretty much always are going to wear out that backside heel. So we're never looking at the backside. We're always looking at the front side in order to understand the gait of your walking pattern. If you do want a copy of this, just slide on into our store in Fergus and Mount Forest, and we're happy to give them to you right at the front counter. Make it a great day. Bye for now.